Welcome everyone to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. Today we are profiling Yami Bakura, and that is coming up. Starting off the Yami Bakura deck profile, guys, is one copy of the Dark Necrofear. 2200 attack, 2800 defense. It's a fiend/effect monster. Cannot be normal summon/set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by banishing 3 fiend type monsters from your graveyard, which should be fairly easy because Bakura's deck, majority of the deck is fiend monsters. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was destroyed by an opponent's card this turn by either battle or card effect and sent to your graveyard while it was a monster under your control, you pretty much can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, equip that card with this, and then you take control of that monster. So it's a pretty powerful card. If you can get possession of a strong monster, you can pretty much turn the tide in any duel. Next up, I run one copy of the Dark Ruler Hades. 2450 attack, 1600 defense. Fiend/effect monster cannot be special summoned from the graveyard. Negate the effects of monsters destroyed by battle with fiend type monsters you control. So very good card, very easy card to get out too for this profile. Next up, I run one copy of Puppet Master. Puppet Master may have 0 attack, 0 defense, but it's got a decent effect. Fiend effect monster. When this card is tribute summoned, you can pay 2000 life points to target 2 fiend type monsters in your graveyard. Special summon those targets, they cannot attack this turn. It's still a really good card because like Bakura's got so many strong fiend monsters that just having a couple more powerhouses on the field could make a huge difference in a character deck duel. Next up, we run Deerbound Colonel. We saw Deerbound Colonel when they were back in ancient Egypt. Bakura had this as one of his boss monsters. 1800 attack, 1200 defense, fiend/effect monster. When this card declares an attack, it gains 600 attack. During either player's turn, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses attack equal to this card's current attack until the end of this turn. So that's really, really good. Then banish this card until the standby phase of the next turn. So it disappears and then comes back in. So it's very awkward to get rid of. You can only use this effect of Deerbound Colonel once per turn. Next up, I run one copy of the Earl of Demise. So Earl of Demise is a 2000 attack monster with 700 defense. Another card he run in ancient Egypt, Doom Caliber Knight, a very strong 4-star monster, 1900 attack, 1800 defense. This card also cannot be special summoned. During either player's turn, if a monster effect is activated, tribute this face-up card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that monster. That is a really good card remover. Next up, I run one copy of the Earthbound Spirit. Earthbound Spirit has 500 attack, 2000 defense. Very useful, good stall option. Copy of Gurnier. 1300 attack, 1200 defense. Zombie effect monster. During your next standby phase, after this face-up card you control is destroyed and sent to your graveyard by an opponent's card effect, special summon it. So another amazing card for Bakura's profile. Run one copy of Goblin Zombie. So Goblin Zombie is a zombie effect monster with 1100 attack, 1050 defense. If this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, send the top card of their deck to the graveyard. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, add one zombie monster with 1200 or less defense from your deck to your hand. Kind of could use that card in tandem with Gurnier, I suppose, with Bakura's profile. Next up, we run one copy of Headless Knight. Headless Knight is a 1450, 1700 defense fiend monster. Copy of Souls of the Forgotten, just a vanilla 2-star fiend monster with 900 attack, 200 defense. Run a copy of the Gross Ghost of Fled Dreams, 1300 attack, 1800 defense, another fiend monster. One copy of the Portrait Secret, 1200 attack, 1500 defense. Run one copy of Jogan the Spiritualist. So this is a spellcaster/effect monster with 200 attack, 1300 defense. It's an amazing card actually. Discard one random card from your hand to the graveyard to destroy all special summon monsters on the field. As long as this card remains face up on the field, no monsters can be special summoned. So that sort of limits a lot of decks from getting to Bakura's good monsters. Of course, we had to run a copy of Sangan, 1000 attack, 600 defense. Fiend/effect monster. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, add one monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck to your hand. But you cannot activate cards or the effects of cards with that name for the rest of the turn. And you only can use this effect of Sangan once per turn. They changed it. It used to use the effect of Sangan once per turn, but obviously since you could play multiple, you could use the effect heaps of times. So they changed it, obviously, or else it'd be too broken. We run Morphing Jar. Morphing Jar is a 700 attack, 600 defense rock effect monster. So it's a flip effect card. Both you and your opponent discard all cards in their hand, and after that, both players draw 5 cards from their respective decks. So it's just if you've got a really terrible hand, but you've got this in hand, you play that obviously and get a new hand. The old nemesis, Man-Eater Bug, 450 attack, 600 defense, insect flip effect monster, target one monster on the field and destroy it. So I think Bakura used that in the Campfire Duel in Duelist Kingdom against Yugi, and one of the cards was destroyed. I can't remember what exactly. It may have been Joey sent to the graveyard because he was Flame Swordsman. We run one copy of White Magical Hat. So White Magical Hat is a 1000 attack, 700 defense spellcaster effect monster. When this card inflicts damage to your opponent's life points, one card must be discarded randomly from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. So that's a really cool, useful card to play if you can attack directly. Right, we play one ritual monster in Bakura's deck, and that is Dark Master Zork. So Zork is a fiend effect monster with 2700 attack, 1500 defense. You have to ritual summon this card with contract with the Dark Master. Once per turn, you can roll a 6-sided dice, then destroy all monsters your opponent controls if you roll 1 or 2. If you roll a 3 or 4 or 5, you can destroy one monster your opponent controls. And if you unfortunately roll a 6, you destroy all your monsters. So it's in your favour in terms of the odds of rolling something 5 or under, but if you roll a 6, you could lose all your advantage. But amazing card nonetheless, Dark Master Zork. Next up, of course, the spell cards. We run one copy of the Pot of Greed. Allows us to draw 2 cards. Next up, Dark Sanctuary. Now, Dark Sanctuary, if a Spirit Message card would be placed on your field with Destiny Board, you can special summon it as a normal monster, Fiend, Dark, 0 attack, 0 defense instead. And if you do, it is unaffected by card effects except Destiny Board. It cannot be targeted for attacks, but it does not prevent your opponent from attacking directly. But this is where the effect gets amazing for me. When an opponent monster declares an attack, toss a coin, and if the result is heads, negate the attack, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the current attack of that opponent's monster. So one, you're getting a monster on the field, that forces them to attack directly. Then they've got a 50-50 chance of losing life points. That is a really good card for his profile. We run one copy of Ectoplasmer. Ectoplasmer, once during each player's end phase, the turn player tributes one face-up monster on their side of the field and inflicts damage to the opponent's life points equal to half the original attack of the tributed monster. This is useful for Bakura, this card, Ectoplasmer. One, it gets a fiend monster most likely into the graveyard to go into Dark Necrofear when he gets 3 in the graveyard. And it keeps your opponent's monsters pretty limited on the field, so yeah, another good card for the profile. We run one copy of Exchange. So Exchange is both players reveal their hands and add one card from each other's hand to their hand. We run one copy of Monster Reborn. One copy of the Premature Burial. So you pay 800 life points and target one monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target in face-up attack position. And equip it with this card. When this card is destroyed, destroy the equip monster. Next up, I run obviously the cards that have to go with our Destiny Board to get the win condition. So Spirit Message I, N, A, and L. Next up, one copy of the Dark Door. So the Dark Door, both players can only attack with one monster during their respective battle phases. We run one copy of the Shallow Grave. Shallow Grave is each player targets one monster in their own graveyard. Each player special summons the target from their graveyard in face down defense position. To get Yami Bakura's Dark Master Zork out, you have to run the copy of Contract with the Dark Master. So the tribute monsters from your hand will field whose levels equal 8 or more. This was used in the campfire duel between Yami Bakura and Yugi. Change a heart. So select one monster on your opponent's side of the field, take control of the selected monster to the end phase of this turn. So you'd use Change a Heart, take control of the monster, and probably tribute it off with some of Bakura's better monsters. So that way they don't get possession of their monster back at the next turn. To round off the spell cards, guys, we run one copy of Chain Energy. As long as this card remains face up on the field, both you and your opponent must pay 500 life points per card to play or set cards from your respective hands. That's an amazing slow death for any opponent if you get a decent board. Next up, Yami Bakura's trap cards, and we'll start off with one copy of Dark Spirit of the Silent. Pretty useful card. This card can only be activated during your opponent's battle step. Negate the attack of one monster and select another one of your opponent's face-up monsters and have it attack. If the new targeted attacking monster is in face-up defense position, you change it to attack position. That is a really cool card to use. To obviously play the Spirit Messages, you have to start it all off with Destiny Board. Destiny Board is when this card and all Spirit Message cards with different names are placed on your field, you win the duel. And once per turn during your opponent's end phase, you place one Spirit Message card from your hand or deck in your spell and trap zone, face up in the order of I, N, A, and L, so it spells out final. When any Spirit Message card or Destiny Board card you control leaves the field, pretty much destroys everything. So it'd be pretty amazing to get the win condition off, but highly unlikely because the opponent, all they have to do is play, say, Mystical Space Typhoon, get rid of one of the Spirit Messages, and it gets rid of everything. Next up, we run one copy of Multiple Destruction. So Multiple Destruction is if both players have 3 or more cards in their hand. Each player places their entire hand on the bottom of the deck in any order. Also, you lose life points equal to the total number of cards returned to the deck by this effect times 300. Then each player draws 5 cards. You can only activate one Multiple Destruction per turn. So that's a good way of burning your opponent's life points really slowly. It's a really cool card, actually. We run one trap monster, Zombie the Spirit, used in Ancient Egypt by Bakura. Special summon this card in defense position as an effect monster. Zombie Dark, level 4, 1800 attack, 500 defense. This card is also still a trap. If this card summoned this way is destroyed by battle, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of the monster that destroyed it. So this is good for Bakura. If you get this card in defense mode and your opponent destroys it, you inflict life point damage, and that just helps along the way to winning a duel. Next up, we run one copy of Just Desserts. Just Desserts I would play when there's a whole lot of monsters on the field because you inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent's life points for each monster on your opponent's side of the field. To round off the deck profile, guys, we run one copy of Call of the Earthbound. Call of the Earthbound is when the opponent's monster declares an attack, you choose the target of the attack. Very useful card too. And we've got a side deck for Bakura as well. There's some other monsters that he played during the anime. We've got Happy Lover, 800 attack, 500 defense fairy. We run one copy of Doma, the Angel of Silence, 1600 attack, 1400 defense fairy. We run one copy of the Lady of Faith, which has 1100 attack, 800 defense, spellcaster monster. One copy of the Electric Lizard, 850 attack, 800 defense. Pretty useful effect too, Thunder Sash effect monster. A non-zombie type monster attacking Electric Lizard cannot attack the following turn. We run also one copy of Mask of Darkness. It's a flip effect monster, and you can select one track card in your graveyard to add it to your hand. And one spell card, we run the Dark Designator. You declare one monster card name. If the declared card is in your opponent's deck, add one of that card to your opponent's hand. So you'd use that obviously with the card exchange. You'd play Dark Designator, get the card that you want from your opponent's deck into their hand, and then play exchange and grab it. So that wraps up the whole profile, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. My favourite card is a very hard choice actually, because Bakura has a lot of amazing monsters in his deck, but I really like the artwork and the card Doom Caliber Knight. So that is another profile complete. We've got more to come. Hopefully you guys smash the like button, share with friends, also comment on the video. But for now, guys, we will catch you later.